Welcome to Needles and Sprouts.
Yay!
Sprouts are pretty much dead.
Yeah.
But I've still been doing lots of my garden this week because it got nice and sunny.
And your name is?
My name is
So we
Tori.
Can introduce ourselves.
Oh, my name is Tori.
I'm Whitney.
And we're Needles and Sprouts.
And we're Needles and Sprouts. Yeah, sprouts are dead. Gardens are out. It's freezing.
I have been doing my indoor plants though, because at the end of the season you can sometimes bring plants in. So you can bring geraniums in, and even so I learned this, just a fun fact. I brought my geranium in last year. It was so ugly by the time spring came along, and I just trimmed it back and I planted in the ground, and it was big and beautiful. And then those trimmings I took out, I just stuck them in the ground and they rooted. So fun, cool geranium thing.
Yeah,
I also
so cool.
learned this week that they are good until about 25 degrees outside. But not after that. So I had one on my front porch that kept making it through because it was close enough to my house, and then it died, and I was like, oh. Well, it mostly died. I think it'll be fine, but it was big and beautiful, and I was gonna bring it in while it was big and beautiful.
25 degrees is ridiculous.
It was pretty cold this week. I also just want to mention this. This is a tree because I love trees, but mostly because it's our Thanksgiving tree. You can't really see it, but we put thankful things on leaves and it's up high. But that's what this brown, it's a brown trunk.
It's the trunk of a tree.
Yeah, made out of felt. So I just took the felt, and you can spray it with spray-on glue, and you let it just dry for a minute, and then you can just stick it, and then it'll unstick without leaving any residue on the wall. Well, maybe a little bit, but I don't really care. I do it in my kids' room.
I wonder if like magic eraser or something would just take that off.
Well, it's not a residue. Well, it's like a sticky residue. I don't think the glue does. I've done it with like a potato starch or just starch, and I think that's what left the residue, like the really wet. But the glue usually seems fine. I hate my walls anyway, so I don't really care.
Well, should we get into...
That was the sprout section. Let's talk about knitting.
I have many finished objects.
Because it's been a while.
Because it's been a while since we recorded.
And you went on vacation. And I went on vacation, so that's always good knitting, crocheting time.
Except I didn't knit hardly at all.
Oh, really?
My trip.
I did.
Yeah. Anyway, so should I just dive in?
You grab one, and then I'll grab one of my small ones.
Close my eyes and reach in. So the baby sweater.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's done.
Oh my cool. Do you guys see this?
You
can't see it.
So there's the pattern. It's got a striped hood with a
So I'm turn it off.
pom-pom. And little white cuffs and a white band. And so I finally finished it. This is the Garden Gnome hoodie by Knitting Expat Designs, Mina Phillip, Knitting Expat. I made it out of Malabrigo worsted, and the color is Toreg or Toreg. And then I used some white acrylic that I had in stash. You're supposed to, so you have this broken seed stitch that the body is patterned in, and you're supposed to do that on the hood, but you may or may not recall that I was like, I just want to get this over with. So I just wanted to knit, because I knit a lot faster than knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. But I was also running out of the blue yarn, which is why the hood is striped. I was thinking I was just going to finish the blue and then white, but I was like, no, striping.
I like the stripe a lot.
And when I started the stripe, I was like, this is turning out rather Hebrew looking, which is fine, because their flag is blue and white.
I did not think anything Hebrew or Hanukkah.
Which is fine, which is totally fine.
I don't think anyone would think it looks Hebrew.
Well, now that the whole thing is done, it doesn't so much, but when I was first starting, I was like, that kind of looks like the Israeli flag. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
but
it'd have to have like a Star of Bethlehem.
Yeah, I know.
Star of David.
But anyway, I'm pleased with it. She seems to like it mostly. It's got straw bits. It's got lots of straw in it because we went to a pumpkin patch to take pictures.
Oh.
And she was just playing in the straw, and it was like all over. And every time I pick up the sweater, I pick out like 10 or 15 more pieces of straw. But anyway.
We went to a pumpkin patch yesterday, and surprisingly, I don't even know how this happened. I was cleaning up my backpack, and it was just like full of that corn from the corn pit. Oh. And I was like, the fall festivals follow you home for weeks.
So it is large on her,
Soft.
but it looks good. Like, it looks fine. And I think it'll fit her for hopefully a couple of years, and it might fit her baby sister as well, eventually. So anyway, I'm pleased with it. I'm glad it's done. She likes it. It's cute. Birthday sweater down.
Okay, cool. Well, I also did a garden gnome, but I did like a real garden gnome.
Look at that.
It looks, I think the shape when it's just knitted is kind of weird.
Well, that's crocheted, right?
Yeah, this is crocheted. When I looked up a garden gnome hat, I also needed to do it fast because Halloween was approaching, and I did this in a night.
Wow.
Because my grandma's birthday party, or my grandma has a Halloween party, so like the Friday night before the Saturday, because my October was super crazy. So anyway, there it is. Of course, the tails are out. And my 2-year-old did not love the beard, so it's not fully attached, because when I tried to get him to try it on, he wouldn't even tolerate it. But he tolerated it all of Halloween and for 10 minutes at the Halloween party, which is all he needed. So it's super cute.
Look at that.
We'll have to stick in a picture of him actually wearing it,
Yes.
because it is so adorable.
Yeah, send me a picture and I'll put it.
A note, if you are making your 2-year-old a bobble beard like this one, it is really easy. He did not like this. So if I was making it for a future 2-year-old, I might just skip the mustache above the beard and just have it right here, because that's pretty much where it was anyway, because he couldn't tolerate this. I think an older kid understands more, but he was just like, get this out of me. But trick-or-treating, he did so awesome. He kept it on the whole time. I was going to take him to 4 houses. My husband decided to take him everywhere, plus more. I was done after a while. So he tolerated it for an hour. So that was
Good.
super cute. Super easy Halloween costume.
We didn't do Halloween because we flew to California that day.
Yeah, and your kids
So
are younger than
yeah.
mine. They don't really care until
I
they're
don't really care.
4 or
But
5.
you might have seen my baby in previous episodes. I wanted to make her a sumo wrestler
Oh my cute.
for Halloween. But I didn't. But it would have been so good. 'Cause
Make
she
her a
has-
sumo
She
wrestler
has
for
so much
Thanksgiving
hair.
then.
I could have done the little bun and then just put like a little, and she's chubby, and it would have been so good. But
And you could have gone on the plane and everyone would have seen it.
I
And it would have
know.
been like, oh, that's awesome.
I know, but it was cold, and anyway.
That's okay. Dreams come true. I have wanted since baby number 1 probably to have one of my kids dress up as a garden gnome. And this year we did it. Except I had bigger plans for me to be a flower, but that didn't happen. Too much going on.
Well, so that I love that. I especially love this little bobble beard. Let's show it up close. Oops, put it up right side up.
It's really...
Look at those little bobbles for the beard. So good. I love it.
And they're both free patterns that I just found because, like I said, it was the day before I needed them.
Well, my next finished object I actually don't have with me.
What?
I knit a baby sweater for my neighbor.
Oh.
I don't knit baby sweaters for just anyone, but she's my next door neighbor. She had a really difficult pregnancy. Like she has 2 little girls already, but she was on bed rest for like 3 months with an IV because she could not keep anything down. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it was just horrible, 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 horrible. And she finally had her baby, so I was like, I need to knit her a sweater. And I have the yarn that I knitted out, well, I mean, another skein of the same yarn. So I'll just show that to you. And I'll insert a picture of the actual finished sweater. But this is the yarn.
It's pretty.
It's Lorna's Laces, worsted weight. The color, it's 100% superwash merino. The color is Princess Donna. And I'll insert a picture of the sweater. Yeah, and it turned out really cute. It kind of reminds me of like, when it's all knit up, like early 90s or like 90s colors.
But that's pretty trendy.
Yeah.
It's not a trend I necessarily agree with, but she'll look trendy.
But I also found some really cute little, like, tealy green buttons at Harmony.
Oh,
and they
cool.
matched really well. And so, anyway, that's my second finished object.
Can we pause for a minute?
Yes.
Not pause really, but just pause in showing stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you guys know that I have orange nails, and I just noticed that Whitney is wearing the most amazing socks. Can we show you the socks? Whitney, I thought didn't like bright socks, so I was really surprised when I just
these are
looked
great.
down. They are like that would be lovely.
These
They're orange
are-
and pink and yellow. Don't kick the camera. Looks like karate.
But these are my knit out of Yarn Cafe Creations, who's a Utah dyer. She's the
Okay.
mom.
Okay, the
dyer.
mom version.
And this is her Mango Tango or something like that. Mango Passion or something.
That's amazing.
Colorway. And
I need some of those.
I worked on
Christmas is
these
coming.
while I was in the hospital recovering from my second baby. Because I wanted something really bright and happy, like while I was sitting in the hospital recovering. So
you can probably put your foot down.
yeah.
Now let's do some yoga.
Yeah. No. Anyway, yeah.
Sorry.
Her orange nails.
I get really distracted by orange things.
Tori is an orange.
I
Orangey
really love orange. Okay,
person.
see my pants? Oh, my pants are orange. Anyway,
Which is great.
enough about orange.
Should I just dive into my next?
Are you gonna get mad at me if I ask about something?
No, please.
The shawl?
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Okay, I'm dying.
We're
of
doing
curiosity.
finished things, and then we'll get
Okay,
into. Okay, we've seen these socks, but I finished them while I was on vacation. I'm gonna cover your face.
That's
so you
okay.
can see. These are the Scarecrow socks out of Dragon Horde Yarn Scarecrow colorway, and I finished them. Nothing fancy. I like a really long leg because I feel like if you're gonna wear,
wool. Wear wool.
yeah, if
Like,
you're
what's
gonna,
the point of a wool?
like you want it
ankle
to
sock?
be, yeah, exactly. In my opinion, a lot of people like shorty socks. That's fine, but for me, I like a really long. What do you call this? Leg? The leg part?
Cuff.
So I do 20 rounds of the rib, and then I do about 90 rounds before I start my heel. And that's kind of a lot, but anyway, they're finished.
Okay, you need to send me some kind of pattern for a sock. Because when I tried to look one up, not on Ravelry, just the normal Google, I felt like they were like intense patterns. Like I just wanted a simple
That?
one. Like is that just stockinette? Mm-hmm. Okay, because
Yeah.
when it's my turn, I'll show you. I think
Do you-
I have got the stockinette.
Do you have any, do you want to go, should I keep going? I only have one more finished thing.
Well, I have this.
Oh.
I know you guys saw this before, but this is what I also made. I made a bigger one so it would actually fit my 2-year-old. So it doesn't have horns because
It's the Viking hat.
it's another Viking hat. And I picked it
I
up.
showed up close so you can see the bubbles and
Yeah, this one also.
cover my face. You just put it right in front of the camera.
There it goes. There's bobbles. There's cool ribbing. But you can also see a line right here. So that's where I stopped last year. I was either making it for my baby or someone else's baby last year, and then I picked it up when I went on vacation. I just grabbed it. I was going out the door because I was like, oh, there's a project I need to finish. And so I just picked up the pattern and kept going. But I must have used a different needle size. So I think I must have gone up a needle size. And so now it looks funny when you're just looking at it. When he's wearing it, you can't tell. So I wasn't too worried about it because the times I get him to wear a hat anyway is pretty few and far between. He doesn't tolerate them very well. But he looks so cute. Anyway, I learned about the importance of maintaining the same needle size. But I also think this part was too
gauge.
small.
Hook size,
Hook size.
because that's crochet, right?
That's true. It's too small at the top, or I think it was too tight, because I'm a really tight knitter, crocheter. I'm a tight knitter and crocheter. So anyway, I think it improved it, made it less tight over here, because one of the hats I made him, I think he didn't like it because it was too tight. So I'm hoping, even though it looks funny, that he'll tolerate it better. But
I'll wear it all
see.
winter,
maybe.
perhaps.
I can't even get him to wear coats right now, so. Or shoes.
Okay, great.
Ooh, the blue one.
So, you may recall, I called this obligation knitting last episode, and I didn't mean obligation knitting, I meant deadline knitting. But this is my anemone top. Last time you saw it was bunched up on the needles, and I actually ripped out that entire thing and started over because I looked, it was
Wasn't the sizing?
yeah, it was way too big, like way too big. And even this one, I went down a whole size, and I don't think I went down a needle size. Maybe I did. I can't remember. I did something funny with it, but, and even this one is a little bit big. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of flowy and a little bit, just a smidge boxy-ish, but, and I'm okay with it.
It's hard to know, like, if it's not supposed to be skin tight, what looks good when it's loose.
So it has this funny little,
I like it. That, like,
this little bunch right here. It kind of,
ruffle.
yeah, it's like a ruffle. It sits on your hip. See?
And it has this cool line.
Yeah, and then that's the line. Well, anyway, I'll insert some pictures, and So this is made out of long dog yarn, and Brandy is the dyer, and I got to meet her at Stitches.
Oh, in California.
SoCal, because I went to Stitches SoCal, which is a yarn fiber fair event, and I was such a dork when I went up to her in her booth. She was standing there,
You
and
were
I
like fangirling?
Yeah, a little bit. I walked up and I was like, hi, this is your yarn. I made this for you. And I was like, actually, I didn't make it for you. I made it for me, but it's out of your yarn. I was like being such a nerd. And she's like, Like, she was really nice, but she's like, like, you're weird. She was also kind of talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
That's why I just never meet people.
And
that
so
are famous.
I was like, okay. So then I was like lingering in her booth, like taking forever looking at the yarn that I wanted to buy. But anyway, it was fun. I liked showing her.
Did you like going to the knitting fair?
Oh yes, that was really, it was kind of overwhelming. And it's not even like compared to what I hear of other events. Like it's, I'd say on the medium small side. But I walked around for 4 hours. It took me about 4 hours to walk around the whole thing, and then I made another walkthrough. That's when I made my purchases. And so, yeah, it was a lot of yarn.
I think I'd have sensory overload.
And I spent a lot of money, but it was money that I won in our weight loss competition.
Oh, really?
Because I won.
That's
and
awesome.
So I spent all my money on yarn. I spent all my winnings on yarn.
You're gonna gain the weight back in yarn.
Yes. So that's my 4th finished object. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. I mean, I finished adult sweater, a baby sweater, a pair of socks, 2 baby sweaters,
Yeah.
a newborn baby, and then like a 2-year-old. Anyway, so yeah, those are my finished objects.
Oh, you want to talk about works? This isn't
Yeah.
really necessarily a work
Let's
in
go to
progress.
work in progress.
But I think I figured out. Well, I feel like I'm still doing it backwards, but
Oh, the yarn.
it looks normal. I was just knitting with this because this is what I had. It's not. Oh, what?
Lift it up so they can.
Sorry, I just
Oh,
noticed
she dropped some stitches.
the stitches were off. So
I need to-
because I only had this one cotton and I started crocheting from the other side because that's how I roll. I'm a cheap wad. Anyway, I was just trying to get trying to practice my knitting. Sorry, these are really old circle, so they unwind and then things get stuck
Yeah.
right there. They're from my grandma's house though, so for free. But I think that's.
Yeah, it looks good.
But I feel like I'm still doing it backwards, and then when I try to do, not backwards, but what.
She's been knitting through the back loop instead of the front loop.
So I've been doing, it makes sense to me how I'm doing it, but I cannot for the life of me figure out how to do a purl, because at the top I started doing purls and I was just like, I don't like this. I like how the knitting looks.
Yeah.
So I just was like, can I just stick with knitting? That's why I wanted to find a sock pattern.
Yeah, so you've been knitting and purling the whole thing, right? And then this is just garter?
I've been knitting and purling the whole thing?
Well, I mean, you've been knitting this side and then purling this side?
Maybe. Is
Yeah.
that what I'm doing?
Yeah.
So then what is this?
So that's garter. This is garter stitch. That means you're knitting both sides. Here, let me show the camera.
I'll have to show you. Wait, don't
So-
hold it too far.
It's stockinette stitch, so she's been knitting.
So it's not just straight knitting, it's knit, purl, knit,
So
purl.
she's been knitting this side, purling this side. But if you see the bump up here, that's what.
Guys, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's when you're all knitting or all purling. But I suspect you're all knitting.
Okay, cool. Well, I figured something out.
Good, you're
I
practicing.
like the rhythm of whatever I was doing. It seemed really easy and quick.
Well, good. Good.
Uh-oh. Anyway, so if I'm actually doing stockinette and it doesn't look crooked, right? Or twisted? You said my V's were twisted. Some of them?
Let me inspect. No, I think it looks straight. I think it looks normal.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, so it should flow a lot more when you're not going into the back loop. It should be a lot more flowy and easier.
Okay.
So,
Well, cool. It looks good. It looks a lot better.
yeah.
So I want to try socks now. So when we're done, we should
Yay!
give me a primer on yarns. Okay. What were we talking about? Oh, socks?
So yeah, I'll teach you, I'll give you a sock recipe.
Well, at the end, let's talk about yarn.
Yeah.
Because I need to know what kind of yarn to buy.
Okay. So.
Did you have a work in progress?
I have a work in progress. I also have, I don't know, I know a lot of people who watch videos like to see people's yarn hauls. So I brought, we don't have to
Not
do that.
all of it, hopefully.
We don't have to do that, but if you want, I brought all the yarn that I bought.
All of it? It's
Yeah.
all in there and it cost you lots of money?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I brought it with me. So if
I was imagining like,
no,
Oh.
it's all in there.
okay. Well, do you want to do works in progress
So
first?
we can do that, or we can, yeah. I pretty much only have works.
I want to see your shawl.
I've been swatching a little bit for sweater, but that's neither here nor there because
No one cares about
No one
swatches.
cares about swatches. So I don't know why I just was.
It is a
thinking
pretty swatch.
We'll talk about my texture time.
Yes,
shawl
yes,
by
I'm in
Stephen West.
suspense.
So
That's really why I didn't want to talk about your yarn. I want to see this.
it's over. Like all the clues have been released, all 5 clues. So I've seen what it looks like, and it's kind of crazy, and it's not something that I would have picked to knit. But I'm in it, and I'm gonna finish it.
And then she's going to give it to someone she doesn't like.
I finished, no way, because the yarn is too good and expensive to give away. And I think I'll like it. It's just not something that I would have, like, anyway.
Gravitated towards.
So I finished, there are 5 clues, and I finished clue 1.
That's cool.
And I've started clue 2. So this is clue, spoiler alert if you're knitting texture time, but all of this, everything's out there already. It's already spoiled. This is clue 1. Da-da-da.
That is crazy.
It is kind of crazy. So this is brioche stitch. This,
You're saying brioche stitch?
oh yeah, so this is brioche, but it's like a syncopated brioche, so it's broken, which was confusing at first. I didn't realize, because when I first started, there were no spoilers out, so I couldn't see what it looked like, and I thought I was doing it wrong. Because you see how the lines are broken, it skips there. Because normally brioche is just kind of like a line if you're just doing straight brioche. And so I kept thinking I was doing it wrong. So this beginning section up here, I ripped out probably 5 or 6 times and started over. I was like, I'm so mad. But I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna keep going. And then as I kept going and it kind of appeared what was happening, I was like, oh, okay, so I was doing it right. Anyway, I kind of like the way the colors are playing together.
It looks like a fishtail.
These are all this is not gonna stay, all these ends here.
Oh, okay, because I was like, I can't tell which way is
Yeah, there's a
bottom
plan
or
for
top.
those. So maybe I'll keep it a mystery to you, because you don't know what it looks like.
I don't know.
But
This is suspenseful.
this-
This is exciting.
This,
That's the edge.
purple-
No, not the edge.
this is clue 2. So this is as far as I've gotten on clue 2 is this purple, this is the mohair.
So this is the bottom.
So that's,
Is that right?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh. Okay.
But this is clue 2 right here, so that's where I'm at. There's a Latvian braid. You can't see it because my colors aren't super contrasty, but there's a Latvian braid right here, and that's where I've gotten to the next Latvian braid, and it's kind of like yarn management is kind of a nightmare because you're twisting the yarns over and over and over to get the braid, and so like your yarn skeins get all twisted, and I haven't wanted to do that, so I haven't worked on this in a couple of days because I'm like, I just don't want to have to deal with that right now. So,
Is this the mohair too?
so yeah, this is the mohair. And I used all the colors in this section, all 5 colors in this section, and then just 1 color in this. Well, I guess the braids are 2 colors. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. I took this with me to Hawaii on vacation, but it was so concentration heavy that I did not work on it at all, hardly. See, I didn't work on my texture time in Hawaii at all because I just never had the time to be able to concentrate that hard on it. So that's my first work in progress. Should I show you my other work in progress, or do you?
Wait, I have one too.
Oh, good.
Though it's not very. It's on the other side of my yarn because we had talked about me crocheting a washcloth. So this is crocheted. I was trying to do a waffle stitch.
Very textury.
Yeah, because I wanted something that was scrubby. I just have So it's supposed to look like a waffle, but as you can see over here, I was losing stitches.
Hold it straight. I don't know if it's focusing.
There it goes. It's not a square. I was losing stitches. I was doing this at the same time as managing bath time, so you'll have to forgive me on that one. There was a lot of screaming going on right then. But I really like the waffle. I want to try it. One of his pictures, it was a guy that put it on Ravelry. One of his pictures that actually it was like pretend food. But even though it was said it was a washcloth, I was like, that would be an awesome pretend waffle. And then he even put like a little pat of butter on it. Just so cute.
You went on Ravelry?
Yeah.
Yay!
I haven't signed up for real yet. But I was also having issues with the pattern with you, like you.
You know, it's not like a commitment to sign up.
It's not?
You just make an account.
Oh.
It's free. You're not committing to anything.
I just haven't. I just found this when I was looking for crochet.
Because I don't think you can download patterns or anything unless you have an account.
Well, I downloaded it.
Well, I guess if it's free. I guess if you want to pay for a pattern, you can't unless you can't. Maybe. I don't know. I'm wrong.
I don't know. But this one was tricky how it was going, and it took me. With the colors the way it is, I don't know if the pattern is right for the first 3 or 4. But I finally figured it out. Maybe figured it out. I think I'd have to do it in a less colorful
I
one.
See how
it's hard to see if I am successfully doing it. Anyway, waffle cloth.
Waffle cloth. Say that 5 times fast. Waffle cloth, waffle cloth.
And it could be finished, but there's also an edge around it, so we'll see if I do that.
Well, my other work in progress, I got this little bag in Hawaii. Isn't it cute? Is it backwards? It's backwards. It says aloha.
That's awesome. It might be.
Is that right? Can you read that? It's backwards.
Aloha.
I don't know.
It says aloha. Tell us if it's backwards.
I'm working on a hat. This is Curum, I think is the name of it, by Isolde Teague. Oh, here comes the baby again.
I'll get her if she gets close.
This wool is so yummy. Feel how squishy this hat is. So this
that is really squishy.
This is stone
It's
wool
really squishy.
Cormo.
I was skeptical.
It's 100% Cormo instead of merino, and it just I mean merino's great, but I kind of have been yearning to knit with anything but merino. And this Cormo is so, it's like bouncy, and I don't know if
like
that's
one of those crazy synthetic sweaters I had in the 90s.
like, part of me thinks
But it's wool?
Yeah, it's 100% wool. Cormo is the breed of sheep. And so part of me thinks it's so bouncy because I'm like, well, this is just a rib, and that's why a rib is kind of bouncy. But no, you feel the skein of yarn, and it's still just bouncy and plump, and it's just so delicious. And I remember
There's my Betty.
I've got this at Blazing Needles in Salt Lake City. It's a semi-local yarn store. And this skein of wool was hanging, and it from its little display where it was hanging, it was saying to me, I want to be a cabled hat for, I'm knitting it for someone specifically, but I don't want to say who. And it was like, I want to be a cabled hat for this person. I want to be a cabled hat for this person. I have to be. And I was like, okay, I'll buy you. So, here's the cabled pattern so far. And it's got such a long brim, so you can wear it slouchy, or you could fold up the brim and it can be tighter and more whatever. My only thing so far
It rolled away.
is I think I'm gonna use every bit of this yarn. I was a little worried as I was knitting on this last night. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I have enough yarn. Which I actually have a skein of Cormo. It's not from the same, it's different yarn companies. And if I have to bust into that, I will. I don't really want to. So if I run out, I have something I can use, but it's gonna be really tight. It's gonna be really close. I think I'll make it, and the yardage says I should have enough, but it might only have like a 5-yard buffer, which is pretty short. But anyway, this is just feel how squishy that isn't it? It's so
really squishy.
Stone wool Cormo, I cannot recommend it enough. Not the cheapest. It's not, it's actually kind of average priced, I'd say. I don't know. But this, I'm really, really, really enjoying working on this. So that will be a Christmas present for someone. And I've just been like yearning to knit all the cables. Like I just want to knit everything cabled right now because it's cold. It's gotten really cold, and I just want something squishy and warm. And anyway, so that's
It's not really cold except for at night, which is when you might be knitting at night.
yeah. I know.
Then I get really cold.
I
at
do
night.
most of my knitting in the evening at night. I do some during the day. So all I have next is yarn haul. Do you want me to show you a little bit or
Yeah,
any of it?
I want to see some.
I'm going to talk a little bit about my yarn haul. I'm just going to dive in here. So these are things that I ordered online. I didn't get them at Stitches SoCal, but I ordered them while I was in California, and they came while I was gone. But this is Moonstone Dye Works, who is Tommy Trujillo. She of Squirrel Pie Productions. She has her own podcast, and she's one of my favorite podcasters. And she does small batches of yarn dyeing. Anyway, this is BFL, which is Blue-Faced Leicester, which is
That's a mouthful.
yeah, well, which is why they call it BFL instead of Blue-Faced Leicester. So it's a little bit sturdier than merino, just a little bit sturdier, and it has. Like I said, I've been yearning for anything besides merino, which is why I bought, well, I mean, it's not the only reason. That's why I bought it on this BFL base. But the color is Fairies Wear Boots. And the thing that really got me about this colorway are these little teal bits. I was like, oh my gosh. So there's a pattern called Birds of a Feather that I think I want to make with this yarn. It's a shawl. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to bring a couple shawls to show you, and I forgot.
Oh, next time.
Well, anyway, so that's those two skeins. I have a present for you.
Ooh, I love presents.
Well, let me talk about.
And then let's talk about the theory of gift giving.
Let me show you. There was one more booth before I get to your present because I want to show you why I have it.
And then let's talk about how Christmas is weird because of gift giving. I love presents, but I just feel like it's just. Why are people giving me presents?
So this is Threadbare Dye Works.
What is that fleck?
It's tweed. I thought Threadbare Dye Works. I didn't know that was their name. I thought it was something else. Anyway, it's this tweedy yarn.
What does tweed mean?
Tweed. So tweed is these flecks.
Okay. Because I always think of tweed as like a suit with a certain pattern.
So a tweed suit is made with yarn with these flecks in it, and that's why it's called tweed. And that's why it kind of has that marled, textury look because it has these little flecks, these bits.
Oh,
in
that
it.
makes sense. For some reason, I was thinking it was like houndstooth, but
Well, that's the pattern that it's woven in. Mm-hmm. But the yarn is the tweed. So anyway, this is a sweater's quantity. It's a DK weight, which is a number 3 DK weight.
Can we talk about weight for a minute?
Yeah.
I weigh. Just kidding. So when you're looking for sock,
Talk
so
about
there's
yarn.
like worsted weight, and then there's whatever weight.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't understand.
So it took me, when I first got into it, it took me a while to
finger weight.
get into it. So lace, we're going to start from small to big.
Okay.
Lace,
Space.
fingering. Fingering is what you use mostly for socks.
Socks. So if I want to do socks, I need a finger.
Fingering.
Fingering.
Yeah. And that's it's like a 2 on the scale. So fingering, sport, DK, worsted, Aran, bulky, super bulky, chunky. Bulky and chunky are kind of interchangeable somewhat.
So worsted's pretty high on that scale.
So yeah, worsted is a 4. Worsted is like most of your chunky, warm sweaters are worsted weight.
Okay.
But like my anemone, this is a fingering weight.
Can I finger it? Sorry, I couldn't resist. So socks are mostly this weight.
Yeah.
And that would explain it because I have someone knit me some gloves and I just feel like they are so poofy, but it must have just been because she used
A heavier weight.
it was probably like worsted where I was like, I would want it a little, they weren't made specifically for me either, someone knit them and then gave them to me. But yeah, I just feel like I feel like I have oven mitts on my hands sometimes. They're still lovely. They're 2-ply, labor of love. I really like this though.
So
What are you
yeah,
gonna make with that?
So I have a couple sweaters in mind for this. One is the Netherton top. I don't know, I have a couple sweaters in mind.
Sweater as well.
But yeah, sweaters, definitely sweaters quantity. But when I was at this booth buying this sweaters quantity of yarn, they're like, hey, you get to pick a grab bag for free. And I was like, what? And it said on it, like, this is $60 worth of yarn.
What?
And she's
For
like,
free?
For free. And that's what I'm giving to you.
She must not have liked it.
No, it's actually good yarn, but I just have so much. So part of me really wanted to keep the yarn just because I'm a bit of a yarn hoarder. But then I was trying to buy things that I have specific projects in mind for, or like a couple projects that it could work for. And I'm like, I don't have any plans for this, so I need to just give it away to someone. So, I have yarn for you, Tori.
I'm so excited. Is any of it fingerling?
No, it is not.
What is, whoa. What do I do with this?
Well,
Looks like I have some Mille Fiori. Big. It's wool and acrylic. That looks...
okay, show the camera because they can see.
It is a dark
So that's some Barocco.
black and brown.
Is that Barocco? Is that who it is?
It's Mille Fiori. Oh, Barocco.
Yeah. So it's some Barocco yarn.
There's a second one of those.
So there
like
are two of
this.
those chunky skeins.
This is
This is actually nice.
merino superwash as opposed to the rest of it. That's not nice.
What? No, well, I mean, this is yarn that
This
would
is
like
merino.
to me, and it has a matching skein in brown.
Oh,
So to
nice.
me, this would make like a really delicious, soft, like a cowl or a hat.
Ooh,
Or
a cowl.
yeah, you could do some color work. To me, so that's why I was like, ooh, that I was envisioning things, but I was like, no, I just need to get rid of the yarn.
Well, if you want it back, maybe I'll give it back.
No. Put the bag down because it's all thinking
Oh, sorry.
But
have you seen those boot top?
don't touch boot toppers. Yeah,
Would it be good for that?
totally. Yeah, if you wanted to.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of things I want to knit because mostly it just is socks right now.
Yeah,
I want to know how to do socks.
yeah. So those were
Well, thank you.
yeah. So that's
so nice.
4 skeins of yarn. On to my next green. I bought a book at the Knit Picks booth. It's what's called Celtic Journey. It's got all these cabled patterns in it.
Ooh, that's pretty.
It was only $5 for all these patterns, and I was like, shoot. I just love knitting books because I love looking through them. Even if I never knit anything out of them, I just really enjoy.
They look like really cool.
Yeah. Sorry, my that's her horse noise. My daughter's over here on a wooden rocking horse, making her horse noise.
It's really cute.
Anyway, so that's a book.
Green.
This is green. This is Shaky K Fibers, which I'd never heard of before, but they had some really cool colorways. And once again, this is 100% BFL, Blue Face Leicester. That's how you spell it. And this is fingering weight. I actually don't have a specific pattern in mind for this one, but this is enough yardage that I could make most not oversized fingering weight sweater.
I see that it's dark and light.
Yes,
Is that true?
So yeah, it's pretty variegated. If you can tell, there's really dark green and lighter green. So I'll have to, as I'm knitting, I'll have to, what's the word? Every other skein. Why am I brain farting? When you do an switch off your skeins.
Okay, that sounds legit.
Anyway, I'll edit that out because it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, this is BFL. I was longing for non-merino, so I got this. And I love green. If you can't tell, it's my favorite. So that's that. And I also, at that booth, got this. This colorway is called Shaky Tango, and it's gray, but it has like this bare hint of, what color would you call it? Like a really like dark mauve, almost purple.
Yeah.
Gray.
I would call
tint
it
to
Shark Tank if I was naming it.
So
It
it's
reminds
just,
me of sharks.
it's such a cool color, I feel like. Like, it's just so interesting. And they only had, it's a sport weight.
What does that mean? I mean, besides the weight, like, why is it called sport?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
But it's sport weight.
It's a sport weight, which is this between fingering and DK.
Right. So lighter than DK.
And I was actually on the lookout for a sport weight quantity, sweaters quantity, but they only had 3 skeins. And I was like, oh, the pattern that I wanted to make, it's just like a basic pullover, like sweatshirt type thing. And I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work, and I'm so sad because I love this color so much. It's 85% Polworth, 15% silk. So again, not merino. And I've never knit with Polworth before, and I've wanted to for quite a long time. So I'm not sure if I should be on the lookout for a different pattern to fit this yarn, because the one that I want, I just don't know if I have enough, or if I should find a coordinating skein and just do like some stripes on the sleeves or something to make up that extra yardage that I don't have. So that's that. At the Long Dog yarn booth, I went specifically.
I like these.
I mean, I could have ordered this online a long time ago, but I was like, this is like free shipping. I wanted to buy it in person.
Is that a gray?
Yeah, so this is
Gray
her
with
merino DK. It's 100% superwash merino. And the colorway is Pop. And it is gray with all of these like rainbow speckles. And I love this color so much. And I have a specific, I want to knit the Frenchy blouse by Poison Girls out of this. It's a short sleeve top, and it has like puff sleeves with baubles on them. It's cropped. So I'm excited. I really want to knit that out of this. And then my last skein is also Long Dog yarn. It's her sock base. So these are just going to be some socks, but the colorway is Coral Crush.
Ooh.
It's just really bright. So this will probably just be socks, unless I find a coordinating skein in my stash, which I have many skeins of
I like that.
sock yarn that I could do, I don't know, whatever out of. So that's my haul. That's everything that we got. Sorry, my baby's
She is.
on the move. But that's everything. If I talk too much, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. It's fine. I learned about yarn, so now I know I need to go get some fingering yarn.
Fingering weight, yeah.
Fingering weight. And probably wool, because that's what I want to knit. And where should I go to get that? Number 1 recommendation.
It depends on how much money you want to spend.
Not any.
Well, then don't go anywhere. I've never knit any socks.
Not very much.
Do you want it? You want it out of wool?
Yes.
I would go to Joann's and get Patton's Croy fingering weight yarn.
Patton's Croy finger weight yarn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it'll be about $6 a skein, and you'll need 2 skeins. But
Is it pretty?
yeah, they have a lot of different colors. But you should be able to find a coupon and maybe even get 50% off or 40%
Yeah, they
off
always
or
have yarn
some
sales.
sort of percent off. So that's the cheapest.
Is that a
wool.
100% wool or? I'm gonna go get some yarn,
So
and
get some
maybe next
yarn.
time I'll have socks.
Yeah.
Or at least
Or
the
started
toe of
them
a sock.
or something.
Do I have to know how to, when you do the ribs at the top, is that tricky?
No, it's just knitting and purling.
Okay, so I don't have
you
to have
have-
like cable needles.
The trickiest part is gonna be the heel, because that involves picking up stitches. Depends on what heel. There are a lot of different heels out there.
Oh boy.
So that's the trickiest part. But once you kind of learn how to do it, it's like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad.
So you have to keep it out of the Oh man, this is a struggle today, friends.
So we're gonna
many kids.
peace out because our babies are making this difficult for us. I wish you could see them behind the camera.
Well,
Or maybe not. Bye.
See ya.
Pan around to these crazies.
Oh,
There's one.
he's like, no way, I'm out of here.
Hi, crazies. All of you.
Nice to see.
Okay.